you don't do strength training for kids, and we're trying to dispel that myth.
On today's podcast, we have Stephen Kinsella from FSM Bray in Ireland.
FMA got me from 18 grand to 30. Invest in people that do the job better than you. Go get the people that can help make you and do it. Invest in them and they will invest in you, and then you'll get the life you want. How about we start making kids exercise, physical fitness every day, and you're going to have a stronger generation of kids rather than a weaker generation, which is what we currently have. I love watching other gyms be successful, because then I know it's possible, especially if it's more than I've ever done. If you're trying to grow your company, you have to be able to literally step fully away and then see if it runs.
Let's jump into the podcast. Stephen, welcome to the Fitness Marketing Agency podcast. For everyone who's watching this on YouTube or they're listening on other platforms, can you tell everyone your business name and where you're located?
So my business name is Functional Strength Movement, or FSM, and we're located in Bray in County Wicklow, Ireland.
And you're coming up to 10 years in business.
We're over 10 years now, 10 years in business now, yeah.
Excellent. And just give us an update of where you're at in terms of team, client numbers.
So team, we've just got back to 4 coaches, 1 intern, plus me. And numbers wise, we've 220 adult clients, and we have just a little over 60 youths, which is a mix between kids and teens.
I've been to your facility, and on YouTube we'll throw up some footage of it. It's an awesome setup that you've got. It's one of the cleanest gyms that I've ever been in, and we'll come to that in a second. Can you just describe it to everyone, square footage? What's the setup in terms of the equipment? What is the actual programming that you offer on the gym floor?
So our building it's 2 levels. Our main floor is about just a little under 3,000 square foot. We're a strength and conditioning facility. The programming is done on a weekly, 12-week cycles, and it's class based. So we take up to 16 people per class. We run between 10 to 11 classes depending on the day, and yeah, that's kind of everything we do. And we do nutrition. We do all the other stuff that all the other gyms do as well. But our bulk, the engine of FSM is group training.
How much is the price point?
So it's $179 for unlimited access, $155 3 days a week. But everyone that starts must do the fundamentals personal training, which is a $170 for 3 sessions. And everyone has to do that before they can go to class. It's mandatory. So you can't just walk in and join. You have to be assessed first.
So when you first got into business, you affiliated with CrossFit.
Yes.
Why did you leave?
I don't have control over what they say or do with their name. And if the gym down the road does something that I disagree with, I'm tarnished with that. And I didn't like that. And that was what happened. It was actually another affiliate owner said that to me. He goes, if they do something, you have no control over what happens to your brand. And then I decided to leave, and he stayed. So, yeah, I think I made one of the best decisions. And then we seen a lot of people de-affiliate after I made that decision.
How long were you affiliated for?
Just a little over a year and a half.
And did you see any pros at all being affiliated?
No, other than if you loved CrossFit, you got to have the name CrossFit. I like it. It's a great system, but it wasn't for me. How I wanted to coach people. I didn't think it was the right method.
And literally no drop-ins, or no one would search CrossFits in my area and find you because of that? Or?
We still have that. We still have people that think we're CrossFit. We still have people drop in if they're traveling because they want to do strength and conditioning. So yeah, we do strength elements. We do accessory. We have long steady state cardio. We have little hit sessions like Metcons. People still come in, and we used to always let people do it, but now we'll question and we want to know what gym they're from before we let them drop in, because we just don't want anyone coming in that has very little experience and we have a day that could injure them or do it to them. So we used to be very open with that, and now we've kind of reserved it. When
you de-affiliated, did you lose any members?
No, we had people complaining that we should lower our price. But then my response to that was, now we are so unique, we should increase our prices. But we did have a bit of backlash from the community of people not liking the decision I made, which.
Fast forward to now, give everyone who's watching or listening sort of some insight into the actual programs that's delivered on the gym floor.
So our strength and conditioning, what we do is our head coach designs a year in advance. So it's not made up, it's not Mickey Mouse stuff. We design all the cycles ahead of time. So the year's cycling was designed in November, and then obviously he has time to. We're just about to finish our first cycle. We're going to go into a unilateral, then like a volume, and then we always finish the year with a strength cycle. And he changes it slightly just to make it a little bit more variable and make people kind of focus on different movements. So it keeps people interested in training, and that's the main philosophy of what we do. We do workshops every month for our members to upskill. So last month was Olympic weightlifting. This month is mobility. We'll do a high rocks event in a couple of months, and that's all free to the members. So we do kind of 2-hour intensive blocks of training to upskill our members on specific things like rowing or ergs or something like that, and then we run that through for a year. So we pre-plan for everything, and the goal is make them stronger. That's the mandatory aspect of what we do, make them move better, and just give them like our demographic is kind of 35 plus. So it's to make them just lead a stronger life. Like they don't we're not trying to make athletes.
How many of your market coming through the door are absolute beginners to fitness?
I'd say 70-80%. Some might have come from other gyms, but 70-80% are just, I need to get in shape. I'm turning 40 or I'm turning 50. I've got kids. I used to be fit. That's especially from the blokes. I used to be, and it's just they just want to get energy back. They have, like I said, they have kids. They want to show their kids that their dad or their mum can still do stuff, and that's our job. Like seeing someone get their first air squat or first pull up is more important than seeing the big guy lift the big weights. Well, for me, anyway.
And they go through that 3-session fundamentals one-on-one PT.
Yeah. And
is that a movement screening system, or is it just whatever the coach feels like based on that person's ability?
No, so we assess them on everything. So everything's based off what we teach in class. We prepare them for that. So we assess how they move. Then we teach them all how we like them to squat, how we like people to deadlift, and then based if anyone has any issues or like niggles or it's something that they physically can't do, then we triage that. So then all the coaches know that if Mary comes in and she can't press a weight overhead, she knows what she has to do. But the coaches then know, Mary, we know we're pressing, you're doing your ring rows today instead. So, and that's the whole purpose. So they're set up to win on the first day, and they're not a deer in headlights, which is the main thing.
Which happens in a lot of strength type gyms where the client is just thrown into the mix.
Yeah.
And gets lost or gets injured.
And we've never done that. The only issue that we had is that for years we never charged for fundamentals, which was a waste because people would do it and then drop off. So then we made if you're invested in your fitness, you'll invest in it. So, and then our coaches get paid to do so. So because it's like personal training, so we charge a personal training rate. But yeah, that whole thing of people just coming in, it's baptism by fire, and you're lucky to keep 50% of who walks through your door.
Are the clients scored at all, or is there any sort of data sort of taken in those first few sessions?
The only thing we record one of their workouts, which is a workout that I designed. Just it's 6-minute fitness test, and everyone's scored off that. They never get told to score. That's for the coaches to know. So then we have an understanding of their capacity, whether it's aerobically or anaerobically and strength. And it's a very simple test that we do. And then that's the only thing we really track. Everything else is logged. So after every session, a coach logs it in the daily brief, and then all the coaches get to read. All the coaches read the daily brief, and then we know exactly what's gone on with every client. So it just means that we don't have to see all the coaches all the time, but everyone gets to see what's going on.
So 16 people in, say, the 6 a.m. session. That coach is then taking notes on all 16, or is it just specific people?
Specific people. So if people are coming in and they're just able to kind of get their, so I suppose if there's any positives that happen, that's the thing we want to record. Someone PB'd or someone did something or someone really did well in the workout, and then any scaling or modifications that happened. If people didn't turn up for class, because we track everything. So if someone's saying, "Oh well, I'm not getting results," I'm like, "Well, you're not turning up. You're booking in, but you're not turning up." And then so it's the important stuff, and anything worth of merit, a positive, has to be highlighted in blue, and anything that needs to be dealt with by me or a head coach has to be highlighted in red. So it just means that we know exactly what to look for.
How quickly did you get that head coach position filled?
Dave, it took 7 years.
So prior to that, you were
I was
head
the
coach
for
and owner. Just for anyone who doesn't have that head coach in place, what was you able to do once you stepped out of doing that job role?
You got freedom, more so your freedom back. I was able to work on the business, which is the big thing. Not having to do the programming, not worrying. Like, it's not that I don't worry about it. I still want to know everything's going on, but you get more freedom back. And I think that's a huge aspect of if you're trying to grow your company, you have to be able to literally step fully away and then see if it runs. And we know that certain aspects of our gym runs without me 100%. And there's certain things that still need me. And the goal is to now fix those. So yeah, having a head coach. And it was hard to step away because it was my program. And then someone else was writing and I mightn't like what he wrote. But it's irrelevant to me because the goal was he knew he's with the clients more. He knows the clients want more. So he's designing for the clients. Whereas I felt a little bit kind of, ooh, what about me? At the initial bit. Now, it's all grand. Like, because I only write for the kids programs now. So we have a head coach for youths, and he does all the teen programming, and eventually he will do the kids programming as well. And completely being comfortable removing myself, so I can be at home. I can spend more time with my kids, and that was one of the big things of getting coaches, because I spent 3 days away from my kids, and I didn't like that because I had to work, not because I was on holidays. I had to work.
Let's talk about the organizational structure. So you're at the top,
yeah.
Then the head coach.
Yeah.
And then there's 3 other coaches below
So then there's 2 senior coaches. So there's Dave, who's the head coach, and then there's Alex, who is a senior coach. And Alex was actually a teenager who started with us at 15. He's 22 now, and now he's the head coach of youths, and he's going to take our athletic academy now come the summer. So he's stepping up, and this is what he's studying in college, but he's really good. And then we have a new coach actually just started today, Shane. We have Abby, who was been interning. She's officially started last week. And then we have Circa, who is a 16-year-old intern, who are both studying their youth certifications that we pay for. So we'll always invest in our coaches, depending on how long you've been with us, depends on how much we'll give you. And yeah, that's the way it works. And I will jump in for classes if needed or if I want to. And that's the kind of way it works.
We'll keep going on the theme of team.
Yeah.
So your gym is one of the cleanest gyms I've ever been in. So can you just talk through what's the procedure? Why is it so clean? Why do you emphasize this so much? Was it just because I was there? I don't think it was. Just let's go into this. Who's cleaning?
Well, I'm not going to lie. We did clean because you were coming. But we clean every day. So all the coaches, I've worked in Globo gyms, and I was a manager, and I was in charge of keeping the place tidy. And personally, I need to have things neat and tidy. So every day there is a task for a coach to do. All the change rooms have to be checked first thing in the morning. They have to be checked during the day and at night. Only recently in the end of last year, we took on an actual cleaner, and then we're actually trying to get them now on 2 days a week, so the place can be even clean. The gym has to be deep.
Is that more like deep clean?
Well, the coaches would do it normally during the week, or if not on a Sunday. So the Sunday hours, there's an extra hour given to coaches for a deep clean. But I don't really want my coaches cleaning. So the goal is now that the new cleaner will be doing 2 deep cleans a day for 5 hours. And that will mean our building is spotless. And if I walk into a building, I want to see everything clean. I want to, especially if I'm a new client. Like, members can come in, they can see dust on equipment and all. I hate that. So if I'm walking in, like I walked into your offices today, it's neat, it's tidy, everything's in its place where it needs to be.
To a degree.
Well, you're only back from the thing. But it makes a difference. And even like you walk into a bathroom, if the bathroom's not clean, that stresses me out. So there's a rule in our gym that there's a pyramid of toilet roll. I know this is kind of weird, and it's my OCD probably, is there's a pyramid of toilet roll, and we're out of toilet roll when there's not a pyramid. That means there's at least 10 rolls of toilet roll in every toilet. If it's down to 8, there's a problem, and we have to fill it up. And every time, and it runs like clockwork. So, because I never want to have a member that's in the bathroom knocking on a door, ringing someone, going, "There's no toilet." I know that sounds like trivial, but those little things make everything for me. So that's why the place has to be clean all the time. We have to be just on point.
So many, like, I know you're not CrossFit affiliated anymore, but so many CrossFit boxes, S&C facilities, you go into them and you've got sweat from the previous class. You've got the owner's dog walking around. And that's okay if you love dogs, but some people don't. And then that dog's like got hair everywhere sticking to the sweat. And then you expect your members to pay £100, euros, dollars plus, if not more, and like exercise in the previous sweat and dog hair and there's kids running around. It's just like absolute chaos. And that's not what you've built. And it's a very clean 5-star facility.
So yeah, we like we had pressure to have a gym dog. Like a lot of members, you should get a gym dog. And I had a dog, but I would never bring it to the gym because just you don't pay for dog hair. And I get like if there's a class and they're sweating and then the next class comes in and you didn't have time to like get everything spotless, but on a whole, like you're keeping it neat and tidy. But that whole thing of letting, bring your kids in and they can run around while you're training. No, like when our kids are in, there's no adults in the building. When our adults are in, there's no kids in the building. Because that's not what it is. It's not.
We'll come on to your kids' classes in a bit. So what you're saying is when your kids' classes are going on, there's no adults.
No adults allowed.
And kids aren't allowed to come when the adults are, even sit on the sofa with the iPad or...
If it's, I'm stuck, babysitter let me down kind of thing, and they're going to sit there and they're going to be on their iPad, I don't mind that. But if it becomes... The problem is if everyone starts doing it, one rule for one versus one rule for all, it hasn't been an issue, so I don't mind. But the child isn't allowed constantly interrupt the class. The parent can't keep going over to the child because you're there for the hour. So it happens during the summer. It'll happen a bit because kids aren't in school, but it's generally maybe 1 or 2 kids, and I'm okay with that because our place is big enough where the kids can sit in one section and the parents can go off to the main floor. But the other way where it's kind of chaotic in gyms. I couldn't sit there like be faking happy. I'd be stressed out to bits looking at it. Like,
let's keep jamming on this cleaning thing because not enough gyms are clean, and I see a lot of gyms.
Yeah.
So this cleaner, 2 hours a day.
5
hours a day.
5 hours twice a day. Twice a week. Sorry.
Okay, cool. What are they doing? Are they free reign, like go and clean what you think needs cleaning, or are you directing? Is there a procedure?
They have a proper list. So they have an NOP of what needs to be done. So we have stuff that is a daily, which the coaches would generally do. Then we have the weekly checks, which is mainly the cleaner. So the cleaner will obviously do all the bathrooms, all the changing rooms, and then make sure when there's no classes on, all the floors get done in a deep clean. Then the rig, all the equipment, all the ergs, because they sweat on a lot, the bikes, the assault bikes, all that stuff. The upstairs level has to be deep cleaned at least minimum once a week. Downstairs has to be done twice a week. And then just little things like dumbbells and all that, we do that on a monthly basis. All members get cloths to wipe down their equipment. Ever since COVID, we never took it away from them. So all the equipment gets cleaned after use by the clients as well. And then there's a check sheet every day. And then if it's in blue, it's for coach. If it's in green, it's for the cleaner. And then every now and again, I get everyone to do it because I think everyone needs to know what that person is doing. So if the cleaner's scrubbing toilets and the coaches are letting them get messy, the coaches still have to learn why cleaning a toilet is important. And that's, again, it might sound trivial, but if we all know that no one wants to do that job, but it gets done, then we all understand it, and so we can all row in together. And I think that's the bigger aspect of, like, my senior coach doesn't coach kids, but he has to understand what we do with our kids' program, because he needs to understand what we're doing. And it's the same with our junior coaches, have to understand what the head coach is up to. So when they talk about programming, Dave will go, well, this is how we do it. And they're like, oh, so it takes more than an hour? Yeah, it takes about 2-3 days. Oh, okay. So it's you have to have a lot of time and effort into it. So, and I think you see that with people on the programming, but you very rarely see it in the cleaning. And I was like, if you start everything the right way, and obviously we didn't start, but we got there, then it's just you're gonna have a nice facility.
And the cleaner, did you advertise like on a job site, or was it like friend of a friend?
We put it in our members group, and then we had a cleaner that was working 2 days a week for a friend cleaning his house, and then she came up, and then she left, and then her uncle came in. He's gone to Brazil, back to Brazil. So we're getting a new one in now in 2 weeks at the moment. So our new cleaner will be doing 2 days a week. But they're all they come in and we go through, like I walk them through everything, and we have it as an NOP. So there's like a document of this is exactly how we fill a mop bucket, how we spray down an erg, like literally step by step. So it's bulletproof.
What did the members say? Have you had compliments on the cleanliness? Because I'm sure your members have trained at other gyms in the past.
Yeah, we do surveys once a year, and we only ask 5 questions because we like you can get a lot of feedback.
Yeah, you can open up a can of worms. Yeah.
And one of them is the cleanliness of the community of the gym, the cleanliness of the gym. Cleanliness of the gym, I think 2 years ago was 80. I think we got 80 something %, and we got over 90% in 2023. 90% cleanliness from the. Now, not everyone filled in the form, but 90 something. I think it was 93% said the cleanliness of the gym was very important, and we keep it really tidy. So that to me was the big win.
So you see a direct ROI from that person's salary.
Yeah, big time, and I think I never seen that as how important that was for many years, because I was like, it's only a bit of cleaning, and now I'm like, well, we could actually have someone that is paid to do it, that wants to do it. That makes a big difference.
But people listening to this, like, come on, let's get onto the juicy stuff. we're talking like 5-10 minutes on the cleaners, but it's so important because I guarantee, like any gym, you have a churn of clients. Those clients most probably will buy fitness from someone else at some point. Yeah. They'll go into that gym and there will be sweat, there will be dog hair, there will be no toilet paper, there will be skid marks on the toilet, and it's, you know, that they probably don't run their house like that. The office that they work in is probably not like that. So why are we allowing this to happen in the fitness industry?
Well, as I say, it's like if you have friends, if you have family coming over, you clean everywhere. And I always, and I don't know where I got it from, but it was always that when you open the door to FSM, what is the wow factor? And every week at Coaches Development, I ask, how can we do it better? What are we doing, which is good? How can we make it better? And then it's like, well, can you make it? Yeah, there's always room. There's always something, 1%, we can do better. And if you walk in and the place is neat, it's clean, and everything's where it's meant to be, and the toilets smell nice, and I know we're constantly talking about toilets, but that will help will keep members. And I've been in gyms, I've trained in the old style gym, and it's rusty and everything's like all over the place, and it was what it was then, and I didn't mind that, but at the same time, I would never have had that if it was my gym. So
I think most people listening to this have stayed in higher end accommodation, and we've all most probably stayed in lower end accommodation where things are a bit worn out and rusty and dirty. And, you know, same with the fitness industry, right? We should all look to upskill our coaches and upskill our gyms to a level like a 5-star service.
Well, what's one of the first things people do when they go into a hotel? Check the bathroom. They go in to check the shower, check the bathroom. I do it. That's the first time we walk in, you see the room, and then you don't go into the bathroom, you go straight, oh, the bathroom's lovely, see that? And like, so yeah, like if you can have that effect on people when they walk into a gym, that's cool. And our gym is a wooden box. Like we made it a wooden box. It's not as like the gym downstairs. Like that's neat. And oh, that was lovely. Like ours is slightly different, but it's still, everything has its place and it's neat and it's tidy, but it's kind of like a log cabin kind of vibe to it.
No more toilet talk, no more cleaning talk. You mentioned it like 2 minutes ago, team development. So talk me through what's the structure of this, your cadence of meetings, what typically happens.
So we used to do it once a week, and then last year we made the decision to, and I say we because we meet with the team once a year, now twice a year, because we decided that we do a full immersion day where we break down everything, and I'm transparent with how the company's running, so they can see what's possible and they can see what they can go for, what they can't go for.
Do you go off site?
Yeah, we take them off site, yeah. And we do coaching development on Monday at 2 and Wednesday at 3, because our junior coaches can't make the Monday one because of school and college. But all coaches can attend, and like you can attend twice a week. We break down from how to set up a barbell for deadlifting, the reason why we deadlift, what muscles we're working, to making sales, to NOPs, which is once a month, where how we, like next week it's opening and closing the gym. Now our senior coaches are like, we know how to open and close the gym, but we've junior coaches that are now key holders, so they're going to have to learn, so we have to walk them through it. And then we just keep recycling some stuff, because I think it just needs to be recycled, as in like how we pick up a phone, how we present ourselves on the floor, the coaching standards. And then there's like, I try and throw in some stuff like mindset, and we did a planner. We did an 8-week planner before where I held them accountable every single day for journaling. And they had to send me a picture of their journal at the end of every night, and every single one of them did it, and every single one of them did better in their personal life. And I was like, would you like to do that more often? So that's something all coaches at FSM will be kind of on a planner system. And it'll be mandatory if you want to work at FSM. But they all liked it. If they said no, I wouldn't, okay, fair enough. But they all really enjoyed it. So they just asked for 1 or 2 changes. And I was like, yeah, okay.
I guess that's come from your own education that you heavily invest in. So, just tell everyone sort of what you do and your routine and what you're part of.
So I've been with Paul Morton now for nearly 4 years. That's kind of just my own mentoring, coaching, but also with FMA and then other companies that I've worked with for like years ago, just constantly developing, like, because I've never been satisfied with the person I am. The business, I've never been satisfied with the business. I've never been satisfied with the person I am. So there's always room for improvement. You can always learn from people. There's always another way, another twist on things. And yeah, like, I'm always hungry to learn more. So I want my coaches on the same trajectory as me to be a better human. And if you're already perfect and you've nailed it and you have it all dialed in, then you don't need to come to FSM because we'll waste your time.
I think that's crucial because every entrepreneur has that itch that they want to scratch to be better, either themselves or their business. And some entrepreneurs, business owners, they get to a certain level and then they just stop and what happens? They stagnate and they go backwards.
Yeah.
But you've consistently just invested in yourself, the business, to push on to the next level. What fundamentally has Paul sort of helped you with?
It's more me, more my personal development of taking emotion out of things, understanding the reality of what's actually happening versus on what I think's happening, or how I feel about things happening. And then just to kind of, it's the accountability. Like, if I don't check in, I'm getting called out. And it's him, like, he'll WhatsApp me, a video WhatsApp me, go, what are you doing? Or Kath will. And then the guys I've met in the group. So there's guys in the group that are either on the same level as me, or probably a little less. There's guys in finance and marketing and the stock exchange and all that. And it's just really like, there's 4 or 5 more levels to chase. And I love it. So that's what keeps me engaged, because I'm working with all these guys that are either millionaires or going to be millionaires, and they're all on that kind of thing. And it's
inspiring, right?
Yeah, it's inspiring to see. And it's like when you see like the guys that do the 90 days and like they're making more money. And then they got to, like, their brain switches like, oh, this is possible. I can actually make my gym's not a hobby anymore. And then, like as you said, the guys that are making like top money through FMA and stuff like that, like, it's always inspiring to see. I love watching other gyms be successful, because then I know it's possible, especially if it's more than I've ever done. And that's why I constantly want that information. My only problem is that I'm a magpie. I said earlier, it's like, I'll try and do everything, sign up to everything. So actually my goal this year is I'm not allowed to sign up to any course, because I keep doing all these different courses and I'm not implementing enough stuff. So Yeah, again,
I think every entrepreneur has that struggle of like, I want to learn this, and then you immerse yourself in it for a bit, and then something else comes up, and so on. So, yeah, I've definitely been there. Let's go back to the gym. Let's talk about the kids, the teens. I know you're heavily involved. Yeah. How did that start? What's the setup right now? A lot of people listening or watching this will have an element of kids fitness in their business, and some don't, and they never want to, but some might be open to enroll children, teens into their gyms. So can we just go through the pros and cons, how you got started and everything around that?
So it was originally I did the CrossFit Kids Cert. When I first seen the CrossFit Kids Cert, I was like, I never thought of coaching youths. I'd coached basketball and stuff like that and swimming lessons, but I've never done it myself, like for strength and conditioning. Then I did the cert with Jeff and Mickey Martin from the Brand X Method, were the people running it at the time, and just the education on it. So I started developing. It was something that I thought was is needed, and I was into it. I really wanted to make it work, and it started off very slow. It was like, I think 2 kids for 6 months. It was heartbreaking. And I think our kids program didn't really make money for at least 2 years.
Because you weren't marketing it, or?
Oh, we do flyer drops and we did all that stuff. But it was what, 2014, 2015, strength training for kids was, you don't do strength training for kids. And we're trying to dispel that myth. Now we do less marketing, but we get like more, well, for our teens mainly. But we're making more out of it. But I think it is the necessary step, because our schools won't do it, our government's not doing it. Not every kid wants to play sport, and every sport you do, no matter what sport it is, I don't knock sport. My son's in every sport imaginable. It's going to injure your child because it's an imbalancing act. So rugby, soccer, hockey, gymnastics, there is injuries that come with all of that. And what's the first thing they get given when they become any sort of professional? A strength coach. Why? To balance their body out and make them injury free. So imagine we did that before they got invested in their sport. You'd have better athletes, but better longevity, and it helps kids with anxiety. It helps them. It helps depression. It helps everything. Make a child stronger, just physically stronger, and you will see a whole different level of that child that no one thought was possible. And I've seen it. I've done it for 10 years. I've seen kids go from nothing to something. And a lot of kids that don't play sport because they're not naturally coordinated to play a sport. Teach them how to move their body, and they can play any sport and probably excel past all the naturally talented kids. So it's a huge thing, and it can be easily fixed by our governments and by our school systems and all that, but they don't want to do it. And I think it's ridiculous. But gyms is the way forward, and anyone that runs gyms for kids, I think, is you're a saint, or yeah.
What is Brand X?
Brand X is it's the world leader in youth fitness. So they do a thing called the PYCC Pro, which is a youth professional coaching certificate. It's online now. I've been with them for 10 years, so I'm one of the labs, just 4 lab centers around the world. So we test workouts and we give back feedback on what we're seeing with our kids versus like there's one in Norway, I think it's Finland, and then there's Australia and America. And then we communicate about like what's happening and what we're seeing, the trends. So they're the biggest certification for youth coaching. And if anyone wants to become a youth coach, there is other certs out there, and I've done a few other certs. It's the kind of like slightly biased, but you'll get a lot more information. All our coaches, like our junior coaches, are learning all of that now. They're studying it at the moment. And it says, yeah, if you're going to work with youths, do the right education so you can. They're not small adults. There's a lot more involved. You have to understand the youth brain. You have to understand growth spurts. You have to understand that they mightn't get it, or if they have ADHD, or they have dyspraxia, which is very common, or they have autism. We have a couple of kids that would have beyond the spectrum, but they, like, if you're willing to give them the time, like, and I mean, time is like 2 years, they will excel, which is crazy. Well, most people don't, like in sport, they don't get given the time because they're not good enough. If you're not good enough, you don't get to play. So that's where my passion.
So what you're saying is the kids are coming to you, they might not be naturally talented at any of those sports that you listed. You're getting them physically fit and strong, and then suddenly they can compete at those sports and life. Yeah.
Like if you make someone stronger, I think if you make someone physically stronger, they'll be mentally stronger. Because to become physically strong, it's hard. Because you have to keep turning up, and it's discipline and it's movement, and you have to be very aware of what's happening. And I think that's where we could change the general, like we've got more anxiety, more depression, more suicide rates, more massive obesity in youths. But we've more gyms, we've more psychologists, we've more of everything to help them. Make them physically stronger. And you can literally undo all of that. And like we did a chat with a bunch of kids, and one that like anxiety is just pumped up energy about something that hasn't happened. If they're physically active, they're going to start reducing that energy down. And we know this is true. So how about we start making kids exercise, physical fitness every day, and you're going to have a stronger generation of kids rather than a weaker generation, which is what we currently have.
Let's go into the schedule of youth. What is the timetable?
So our kids train, they've classes 5 days a week. So they do Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday mornings. We might most likely be going to Wednesday, so it's 6 days a week. Each kid, with the exception of our like long-term kids, gets 2 days a week, and then they get the option of turning up on the Saturday. The Saturday is a bit of more free-for-all. We've more games, more fun, just kind of more like more play, fitness play, we'd call it. And it's €89 a month. And then our teens are, because they're older and their movements, and they get to train a little bit differently. They have to be trained differently. They have to do their fundamentals. So they have to do 3 fundamentals to get into main class. And again, there's no exceptions on that. Because if they're going through growth spurts, they're like tall giraffes. They don't move well. So it takes a long time for us to try and get them to understand it. And then that's €120 for their fundamentals, and then their membership is €120. So obviously you're paying $120 for 3 sessions, and then it's $120 a month for 3 sessions a week. So you're getting 12 sessions. So the price point is easier buy-in for parents.
And how do you sell this to the kids or the parents?
For the kids, it's generally the parents. We sell to the parents. For the teens, it's generally the teens want to join the gym, but the parents don't want. So when I don't know if it still works like this in England, but in Ireland, you're not allowed to join a gym till you're 16, because it's bad for you.
Correct.
Okay, that's a whole other podcast. But parents want them in a safe environment, because the social media side of the gym now for teenagers is all like body confidence, and they're doing all the wrong stuff. They're just benching and biceps, and it's what most blokes do. And anyway, so parents will come to us going, I have a teenager who wants to join the gym, and I want them to do it correctly. And then we're like, yeah, okay, let's bring them in. And they have 6 days a week to train. So they get three sessions a week, and they get to pick between...
With a coach, so it's not open gym?
Everything is coached. We don't allow open gym at all, not even for adults, because you're paying to be coached. So, but it can be hard for a teenager because we have teens that train with us, and their friends are in the local gym, and their friends are doing all of this. Oh, why can't we do more biceps? And we're like, don't you worry, just wait to see what happens. And trust me, we're going to play the long game here, and we're going to win the long game. And then during the summer we have camps, we have strength camps, which they're 40 kids a month, so that's an added bump up. And then we train a lot of athletes, so personal training, but we're going to be moving that to the athlete academy now this summer. But we train a lot of like high-end teenagers that are trying to get to the next level in their sport.
And the children coming in, what's the breakdown of like these kids have aspirations to play at a high level, or how many are deconditioned / obese, how many maybe mental health, how many are just general kids that they've not taken to a sport, they don't have any hobbies, so their parents are like, okay, you should try the gym?
I'd say 60-70% are kids that just don't have too many hobbies or sports. And it's something to try because they didn't take the sport, or they're not willingly wanting to be active. We do have some kids that are 11, 12. We've one mountain biker who's like a European champion, and he comes here to us to be stronger. We have some kids that want to be the next like rugby player, next like football player, all that stuff. But at that age, for me, it's like, we're just going to make you strong. We'll make you strong. We're going to make you enjoy being strong. And then during the summer, we'll bring them out for challenges for like a 4-hour hike with a weight or something like that. And we test them. We test them physically and mentally, so we can kind of make them more resilient.
How does it work with terms and conditions? Obviously, you're selling to the parent. The kid has to buy. I'm sure you get it. Can my little kid do a taster session? Can we trial it for a few weeks? How does it work around there?
So the way we do it is we allow only for kids. Teens we don't, because kids is easier to let them come in and try it because of how we have to triage the kids, because all kids are at different levels. So we let them come in and try it, and then the thing is that if your child tells you they want to come back, you sign them up, and it's 3 months commitment to sign up, and then after that it's a 2-week cancellation notice policy. And that's the way we do it across the board with all our memberships. And generally most kids that try it unless it's the parent doesn't like the price point, come back.
How many of the parents convert to then become members, or how many of the parents are already members and then they get their kids involved?
Very few. I'd say 20, maybe 30% now, because we've been doing it so long. When people do kids programs and think that, oh, well, I have 200 adults, I'm going to have at least 100 kids. No, I've never seen it work that way. I've never seen that model work in any gym. It's word of mouth, and because most parents go to gyms, they don't want to train with their kids. Not that they
and
would
you
train
don't
with their
allow
kids.
it?
No. No, we don't even want the parents staying hanging around.
Okay.
Because kids act differently when their kids are around, parents are around. But we would try to, I'd say it's 70% are just outside the gym. Their parents do not have any association with our gym.
And how long are the sessions?
An hour. Well, 15 minutes. We do it. We cut it off at 15 minutes. And then there's like a class, there's a strength class. We do have very specific rules. They have to recite the rules to start a class every day. They have to earn their game. So we plan a game for every single class. But if there's messing or any of that, we explain, you didn't get a game today because of this happened. And I know some people are like, well, that's a bit harsh. It's like, well, I don't think you should be allowed be disrespectful to coaches and then get rewarded at the end of it. So I'm a little bit more disciplined on that. Whereas this free play, I wouldn't be like, just run around the gym for 5 minutes and warm up. No, there's too much stuff that can go wrong. Like a rower could fall on a kid, they could pull a barbell off, or dumbbell fall off a shelf or something. So I'm very rigid when it comes to that. I still have a lot of fun, but like controlled fun.
What would your message be to the gym owner who's considering implementing kids programming into their gym?
If you want to do it, make sure that you want to do it. Don't do it and go, I'll hire coaches to do it. Because if the passion isn't there, it won't work. And I've seen it too many times. I'm going to open the gym for kids. And then if you do want to do it and you are passionate about it, find someone that's done it well and ask them for advice. Or like go to someone that's like runs it really good. And I know there's a lot of gyms in England that have good, successful kids youth programs. So ask them for advice. And if you have to pay 50 quid to talk to them, then pay the 50 quid because it's worth it. And then just it's not like, hey, we're going to do an ad and we're going to have like 100 leads come in. It's a slow grower because parents are entrusting you, they're special. Like they're like legit ultimate prized possessions to you for lifting weights, and that's hard. But I think if you do it right, you'll end up becoming so it's gymnastics and swimming in Ireland, and it's hard to get your kid into gymnastics. It's very hard to get your kids into swimming, and our goal is to be FSM the same thing. Like it is going to be a fight to get your child into our program because we're going to be too full. And that's the goal.
Surprised at swimming and gymnastics because I couldn't name you one Olympic medal that you've won in those sports. So I guess for kids, participation in those sports are high, right?
Well, yeah. Like, okay, so there's the Irish gymnastics scene isn't as good as the rest of the world. Swimming, we had one guy win a few medals there. But because we're an island, swimming lessons is big. But gymnastics is high end, it's high priced, and it is hand over fist to get your daughter into it. My son does gymnastics. He's been doing it for 3 years because I want him to have that level of basics of gymnastics.
Well, that's one of my questions. Your son's 8. Does he come to the strength classes or?
He has been. Now, because the only reason he hasn't lately, and because people are like, oh, Jody's not doing your classes anymore, like obviously. So, because our coaches, some of our coaches went off traveling and then we lost a coach, I was coaching, so I don't have the time to get him there and then get him home. But now that's all been fixed. He's back in classes. But every day he's doing pull-ups and push-ups and squats. That's part of his morning routine. He does 5 pull-ups, 5 push-ups, 5 squats every single day. And that's mandatory. I know I'm a tyrant at home.
Yeah, he's got to put up bar in his bedroom. Or?
He does, yeah. He read a book. He read Jocko Willick's book, Way to Warrior Kid. And
I heard about that. I was going to get that for my daughter. Yeah.
Brilliant book. He's like 5 of them. And in the book, Mark couldn't do pull-ups. And then Jody tried to pull up and he could barely do like half of one. And he goes, can I get a pull-up bar? And I said, if we get one, you have to do it. So in 6 weeks, he got 10 in a row. And then he just He has to do them every day. We had a pull-up party 2 weeks ago where we had to do 100 pull-ups. We call it a pull-up party, but like we just stayed there till we got 100. So I do a set, he do a set till we got to 100. But yeah, he'll be there 2-3 times a week. When Riley's old enough, she'll be there probably more just to keep her out of trouble.
Let's switch to sales.
Yeah.
So what is your sales process for a walk-in, a website hit, a meta ad, some old school marketing? I inquire with you. Talk me through taking me from prospective customer to full paying client.
So if you sign up, generally it's through the website, and it'll go into a lead. You will get option to book a call. If you decide not to book the call, we still get the lead in, and then we'll follow up with the call. We'll follow up with a call or a text. We have an automated system that will constantly you'll be going through your just natural like funnel of like getting a text and an email every second day, and then the coaches will be trying to ring in between. The coaches will ring until they'll just keep ringing. After 30 days, if there's no answer, you go into a default email campaign, which lasts for, I think, 2 years. And then every now and again, we'll send a generic email out, like just, hey, how's things? And we follow up. If you book through to the call, then obviously one of our coaches will answer. And then the first thing we do is like, hey, Ben, how's things? What have you been doing with your fitness? So we ask, like, what have you been doing to figure out where they are? And then we tell them the price. Oh, we don't. We tell them what it costs to get in, and then we tell them when to sign up. So we used to do the whole big, like, you know, the old consultations where it's like, but now it's like we have it.
So you just invite them in, face-to-face consult, completely free. So now you're just taking payment on the phone. Payment
on the phone. If it's not on the phone, it's straight away through the link that we send them, and then the booking's never confirmed till the payment's confirmed. And we tell them that on the phone. And if they say, oh, I don't have access to my card, I was like, well, your booking is provisional, but I'm on the phone for the rest of the day. And if someone pays, you could lose your spot. Just letting you know. And that's a nice incentive, because if they're in, they will make sure that link goes through. And generally, it goes through pretty quick.
And that's to book their 3 fundamentals.
3 fundamentals
to get
straight
them,
away.
Get them started. All of your coaching team able to sell? Have they been trained?
Yeah. So Dave actually came to Luke. Well, not last year, the year before. He came
in Dublin.
Luke, yeah, and he learned a lot. Dave would be kind of a more quieter guy, and then Alex. So we spent time I cut out all the fluff and just like, I need you to just ask these questions. How unfit are they? How fit they want to be? And when do you want to get started? And give them, obviously from you guys, give them 2 options. Monday or Wednesday, morning or evening, 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. Never say Monday, no, because if they say no, then you're stuck. And ever since, I think it was September of last year, the guys, I very rarely have to sell. The lads do an amazing job. And we almost capped the gym last year before the end of the year.
What is capacity?
It was 220.
Let's switch to the clients that you have right now. What's the age demographic with the adults? And then what are you doing to keep that community together, as sticky as possible, and believing in you and the brand?
So our demographic is 35 plus generally. We're starting to get some younger, like 30-year-olds in now, which is kind of unusual, but obviously we'll take them. But 35 plus people that are settled in the area, have kids, and are just trying to get some fitness into their lifestyle. What we do for the community, because that's my biggest aspect, is the culture and the community of FSM, is we do workshops every single month that are free, unless we have an external coach come in and they charge, and they might charge 20 quid. But this year we've done, we have events. So we have workshops, we have events, and we have challenges. So every quarter we have a challenge. So currently in March we have a push-up and pull-up challenge. We are going on hikes. So one of our members is a big hiker. She's going to do a family hike with the members, and then she's going to do a nighttime hike, sunrise hike in September. And then we have plans in the summer. We have like workouts on the beach because we're close to the seafront. So we're going to have 3 workouts on the beach where we're going to bring equipment down at 5:30 in the morning. We're going to do a workout on the beach, and everyone's going to get in. Then we're all going to go for coffee. So every month we're trying to have, if the minimum amount is one thing because not every member will do everything, but they might do something. So every month we have an event on that's at least 10+% of the gym will want to do. This month, March, is the mobility course. It's already sold out. The last Olympic lifting course already sold out. So, and then our big one at the end of the year, which we were holding on to, was we're taking the gym to Marbella. So we've 35 members that are going to go to Portabanús. We're going to do Mike's gym. Not everyone's doing it for that reason, more for
Just
a few
explain
days
what Mike's gym is for people that don't know.
So Mike's gym is Europe's largest obstacle course or hardest obstacle course race. It's a 5K race, but we did it last year. It's pretty intense, but it's great crack. And it's just, again, trying to get people out, like where you do high rocks or something. It's to use your fitness. So you're doing all this training all the year round. You mightn't be into competing, but yet you're maybe an obstacle course, which everyone can get done. It'll be tough. So, and that's our big end of year thing. And now that's going to be something we want to do, is that we have an end of year or something during the year. Like, I know there's an obstacle course marathon in Germany that I've seen. Now, I don't know how many will do it, but like, it's giving people the option. And then
they can train towards it.
Keeping everyone engaged. And then just like, even we took the ladies, we had a bet the other week where if one of the members turned up 4 weeks in a row for my class only, on the 5th week, I take them off for coffee, which she did. We took them off for coffee.
She was inconsistent?
She was inconsistent with me.
Yeah.
So I said, if you turn up to 5 of my classes, I will bring 4 of my classes. I'll bring you you and the members, whoever turns up that day, for coffee. So last Wednesday, they all turned up and we all went for coffee, and they all had a great crack. And it's just trying to keep that, because as the numbers grow, it's harder to keep it all in play. So we're trying to cater to everyone. And then the teens and the kids have their own independent stuff that we do with them as well.
Let's switch to finances. What's your process routines around that?
So we track everything. We do a lot through our software, but then we have I monitor everything on an Excel sheet on a monthly basis. So our monthly metrics, we call it, and we track everything from what's going out of the business, for what's coming into the business, from if someone bought a bottle of water, like literally everything. I need to know every single detail. For example, the last 2 months have been really successful, but they've been successful in different aspects of the company versus the membership. So we noticed that the membership is still the same, but we're not making the extra money through the membership. We lost money on the membership technically, but we gained it on the personal training or on the nutrition blocks. So now we know if we just focus on the membership, we'll get that up. So we track everything down to the last penny in regards to where it's coming from. And then based off that, then we project that into the future.
Do you have any help or assistance on the numbers?
No, it's just me. Well, sorry, I retract. I've had people come in and show me how to do it. And now I'm doing, and then if I ever get stuck, I'll reach out to someone that I know that can help me. Someone that's either doing it or doing it better than me. Let's
look at your working week. How many hours do you think you're putting into finances, marketing, team development, sales, product?
I'd say for the finances and marketing, we're doing at least a day on that, where I'm just
day for each one.
Yeah. And then coaching development, because I have to create it. So I'd say a half a day of creating, and then the 2 hours that we use for it. Pretty much. That's pretty much everything. And then it's just the day-to-days of sales, like just 4 calls in today, but there's none tomorrow. Then that's just the way the week kind of lines up.
Looking back on everything that you've achieved, sort of what are some of the biggest mistakes that you've made that others can learn from and potentially avoid?
So the first one is hire a coach. Don't coach every hour. It's not worth it, because you'll burn out. Hire a marketing team, and you guys, FMA, got me from, what was it? I think it was 18 grand to 30 in the time. So invest in people that do the job better than you is, I suppose, the best thing. I made all the wrong mistakes. I spent 5 years doing it all. I was trying to do it all on my own. Seeing your emails come into my inbox, but I avoided them, which I did. I constantly avoided them. I'd look at them, I'd read them, I'd click the button, but I'd never fill in the form. But yeah, like hire coaches, hire people that do it better than you. If you don't have the money, go find it. You can find it. Like really, sell 3 memberships for a year. If you got on the phone for a day, you'd do that, and then learn how to sell. It's not a bad thing. It's actually the essential aspect of your company is you learning how to sell. And I think that if you start working towards that within a year, you will see your company completely change.
Let's go back to the first one, getting a coach so you as the owner can come off the floor.
Yeah.
You're very passionate about coaching, it's clear, and you love the teen and the kids programming and stuff. How hard did you find that stepping away, or was you ready to go, you know what, I want to create something bigger than me?
I always wanted to create something bigger than me. The problem was me. I didn't want to step off the floor. There was a bit of FOMO, I suppose, fear of missing out, that the members would forget about me, and which has happened. There's members that have never met me. People send in like they might send a cancellation request to, "Hey Dave, I'm sorry, I have to leave," and you're like, "Well, what about me?" And it was for a while, "What about me?" But then I realized that if I focus there, I'll never grow. So now I like the fact that I'm a little bit, people don't know that I'm the owner. It's okay. I'm okay with that, because then my focus is now coaching the coaches. And if I coach a really good coaching team, that will impact more people. And my goal is to impact more people. I do love the idea that I can walk onto the floor and tap a coach on the shoulder and go, "I'm going to jump in coaching this class." And they're like, "Okay, cool." And that's really nice. But yeah, I suppose that's a very hard thing, because you're letting go of your baby. You created it, like you spent like 10 years for when I started adding in coaches, 4 or 5 years, and then you're entrusting it to someone that mightn't care. And I know people have had coaches that have done them bad over the years. Luckily enough, I haven't had that situation, but it's a very hard thing, but it's a necessity. And I think if you're going to do it, again, talk to someone that's done it, so they will make you feel more comfortable about it. Because you're meant to feel that way, because you're letting someone. It's like letting a guy date your daughter. Like, that would be horrendous. But you're going to entrust someone else to her or to them. No.
I understand. So in terms of you stepping off of the gym floor and letting someone else come in, you're saying that your growth would have been quicker if you stepped out of your own way.
Yeah, big time. I think if we could go back in time and start FSM tomorrow, the first thing I'd do, I'd spend the first month trying to get 1, if not 2 coaches.
And not be on the gym floor.
Yeah.
But I'm the best coach. All of the members love me. What will I do with my time if I'm not coaching?
You will find that there's more to your life than being in your business all the time. And you might be able to go out and find a girl, or have kids, or have a family, or go on holidays, which is something that a lot of coaches I know don't do because they can't afford the time off. But yeah, being the best, I think it's, everyone's going to have that. Like, if you're willing to give what you've created to someone else, you're most likely going to get 80% out of them to do the job, because it's your thing. And you have to accept that. But also you have to accept that maybe you're not the best, because the coach that's coming in has learned from you. And generally people learn from you, then try to be better. And I say that to my team, is if you're not trying to be the best coach in this room, we have a problem, because I'm always trying to be the best coach. You should be trying to be the best coach. And you learn from me, you learn from others. And then we've had clients that really love some of our coaches' approach or style. Dave's programming, they love Dave's programming. The teens are loving Alex's programming. That's hard for me to hear, because I'm like, I want them all to be like, if it's not as good as yours, but they're not saying that. So it's hard, but it's also very, because you feel a lot of relief that you don't need to be the person. So it's good. That's like, well, yeah, he can do this. That's amazing. I don't have to worry about that anymore. If anything, I can ask him questions. And she can do this. That's brilliant. I don't have to do that anymore. That's, I think, because if you're a business owner, the whole point of your business is to give you the quality of life that you want to live and do the thing you love to do. And if you're doing it all and you're obsessed about someone not being as good as you, then you'll end up like me, and you'll be burnt out, and you'll be overweight, and you'll hate yourself, and you'll hate coaching, which is the big thing that I ended up in a position.
Tell us more about those burnt out, overweight days. Like, what was your schedule?
From 6:30 in the morning till 9:00 at night, 5 days a week, and then work Saturdays.
Before kids, was this?
Yeah. Well, actually, one of the biggest catalysts was I went to work on a Wednesday morning, and my son was only a couple of months old. I think it was, just before he turned 1, and I didn't see him awake till Saturday because of my work schedule. And that was the day I was like, no, I can't do this anymore. And then I started making changes. But we had 52 members. I did a video on it, actually put it on YouTube. I was like, we're probably going to shut FSM down. And then a year later, I posted it of what I did about it. But I was exhausted. I was burnt out. I actually hired a life coach to train my brain to do more. And they said no. They actually refused. They said, no, you need to go sleep.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I got a good life coach. But yeah, it's a horrible time because I would have my hands in my office, borderline, I suppose slightly depressed, and then have to go down and coach for 5 hours and be happy and fake it, like really fake it with clients. And some of the clients, when they seen the video, they were like, that's when we joined and we had no idea. I was like, most people don't know how hard it is for coaches starting off, because we get into it to help people, but then the business side just eats away at you. And then the thing you love to do is the thing you end up resenting. And when you resent what you love, that's a very, really bad place. So now I get to train when I want. I get to go home and see my kids, put them to bed. I get to bring them to school if I need to. I get to take time off, like come here. I get to go away on holidays. Yeah, and I could have done all of that in the first 2 years if I had known what to do right. And that's by letting other people help me.
Well, your words and advice would change a lot of people's lives, like listening to this, because there are so many gym owners stuck in that scenario that you just painted. I've been there, you've been there, and it doesn't have to be that way, but it's up to that gym owner to make that decision to, switch. And sometimes the ego can, get in the way, and you tell yourself stories that aren't true, and it hampers your success. So look at when you was in that moment, you had 50 members to the point where now 200 plus thriving business team. You're non-operational, only if you choose to be.
Yeah.
So it's an awesome, story and transformation.
Yeah, and I suppose the last thing is that you're not self-made. You can't be. No one's self-made. So go get the people that can help make you, and do it. Invest in them, and they will invest in you, and then you'll get the life you want. I suppose that's the best way to look at it.
What is next for FSM?
So there's a fair few things in the pipeline that we're working on, and I feel that's been 3-4 years of building, and now we're able to execute. So in June, over the summer, we're releasing the Teen Athlete Academy, which is going to be our new bespoke, higher end coaching academy for youths. With that will be the Resilient Mind, which will be helping, like, teaching kids how to overcome like obstacles, anxiety, depression, all that stuff to the level that we're trained to do, obviously. Not like psychology or anything like that. And that will be, there are 2 different systems that will be working through our Youth Academy. And then we're going online fully with a nutritional program I think it's starting May. The goal is starting May. And that's where my head coach will be moving into that realm to like start a whole independent company on nutrition, because we've had such good success with our nutrition with our clients. And he's going to, because that's his passion. So we're going to allow him to do that, which means that we'll bring someone up. And yeah, the goal is to double our revenue in 2 to 3 years.
For people to find out more information about you and the business, what's your Insta handle, personally and then professionally? So
personally, it's Kinsleste, so KINSELLASTE. So if you type in that, it'll pop up. And FSM Bray is our main gym and .com. .ie. And then FSM Youths is on Facebook and Instagram, and so is FSM. So we have 2 different pages for both, so we can just isolate the content for 2 different groups. And then that's where we are. If you're in Bray, you can't drop in. Actually, you can't drop into my gym.
Well, I'm sure
if you're a guest, you can obviously drop into my gym and train. I'll be happy to let you train.
Thank you for coming on the FMA podcast. This will massively help and impact people. And thank you.
No, thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Fitness Marketing Agency podcast. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe so you can catch future episodes.